in peace and conflict management. Yes, good evening, everyone. You're welcome. And my name is Mr. Tahuli Joshua. This is our 1 month free professional diploma training in peace and conflict management. This training is being organized by the Institute of Global Peace and Conflict Management to empower our communities, to empower our followers on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok to be able to, navigate the challenges of conflict in our society. So I would like to welcome all of you for today's training. And for those of you that are going to have contact with us for the very first time, we wish to welcome you for this wonderful training. If you are joining us on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok, you can do well to share the link for others to see it and be part of the meeting. All right. So that you can be part of the meeting. All right. So that's it. So if you're joining us for the very first time, this is the Institute of Global Peace and Conflict Management, and this is our 1 month free professional diploma training in peace and conflict management. Actually, we are having our last class for the training today. All right, this is our module 5, unit 3, and we are going to have our live class today. All right, and then the last one. So those of you on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok, do way to share the link with others. Let them be part of the meeting. So thank you very much for taking time to be part of today's training. I wish you a very wonderful time as we go through this training together. All right. We have been on a journey, and the journey has taken us through module 1 to 5 of peace and conflict management. And by the grace of God, we are taking our last training for today. All right. We are taking our last training for today. We are taking our last training for today. So I want to congratulate all of you for the time you have spent with us here to learn. And today is going to be a wonderful experience having our last training today. All right. So I would like to welcome all of you once again for today's training. I ask that you can share the link for others to be part of the training, and it's going to be a wonderful training, and you're going to enjoy it. Do you understand? Free professional diploma training in peace and conflict management. You are going to empower with the skills to resolve conflicts in our communities. Do you understand? So this is what we're doing here today. So and then next week, Saturday, we are going to write our exams. And like I say, other trainings are coming up. Emotional intelligence is the next training that will be coming up for this class. So do way to be part of it. Do you understand? Do way to be part of it. Thank you very much. I appreciate all of you. I'm going to create a WhatsApp group for our next training. All right. And then those of you that are ready to participate in emotional intelligence can also join the training. All right. So I want to appreciate all of you for taking time to be part of today's training, which is our last training. So do wait to share the link to others. Let them join and be part of the training. All right. So today we are going to look at arbitration and adjudication. Arbitration and adjudication. Arbitration and what? Adjudication. But before we do that, let me recognize those that are joining us on Facebook, on YouTube, and then today we have added TikTok. Those that are on TikTok, you want to join us on TikTok, you can also join us. And I can see people connecting from TikTok as well. All right. So if on TikTok, you know what is happening here is that we have been having a free 1 month professional diploma training in peace and conflict management. Unfortunately, we have not been hosting it on TikTok. Today is just the first day, but we have today, and even it's our last class today. But we are having another one which is coming up by next month, which is emotional intelligence. So we are going to advertise it on TikTok as well, so that those of you on TikTok can also participate. All right. But if you happen to come across this training today, just be a part of it so that you see what we are doing here, so that you can also benefit from it in the long run. All right. So I appreciate all of you. So from our Facebook and YouTube, let me acknowledge those that are here. We have John Kuba from South Sudan. We have Stephen William from South Sudan. We have Bayo from Akure, Nigeria. We have Tijani Ibrahim all the way from Maiduguri. We have Sate Sushima Jennifer all the way from Benue State. We have Onyibuchi Israel from Abuja. We have Reverend Amechi from Benin City. We have Tarisim from Port Harcourt. We have Tadele from Ethiopia. We have Victor Maliti from where you didn't state where you're connecting from, and then Sani D. Mohammed all the way from Bauchi, Nigeria. We have Bakundi Paul all the way from Port Harcourt, Nigeria. We have Mason Moses all the way from Adamawa State. We have Ambassador Tesfire, our coordinator from Ethiopia, Addis Ababa. Thank you for joining us. And then we have our coordinator from Zambia, Chirifaya Siwale. Thank you all the way from Zambia. We have Emmanuel Edet Okon all the way from Akwa Ibom State. We have Ukai Ijai Port Harcourt. We have Dr. Celia Fajobi is a member of the Institute and ambassador of the Institute. Thank you for joining all the way from Lagos, Nigeria. We have Ambassador Onwoke Peter. Thank you from Port Harcourt. We have Zikaios Victoria. Thank you for joining all the way from Lokoja. And we have Mark Abbey. Thank you for joining us, Mark. We have Rosemary all the way from Lagos. Thank you for joining. And the Mark Abbey is joining from Yola. And then we have Zachariah Jibril from Bauchi. We have Golden Pen. That is Chinenye Onyema joining from Lagos. I want to appreciate all of you for connecting. You can do way to share the live to others so that they can be part of the meeting. And I have someone on TikTok. Oh, yes, let's go. All right, so let's go ahead. Today we're going to look at Unit 3 of Module 5, and it's arbitration and adjudication. Arbitration and what? Adjudication. Arbitration and adjudication. All right, arbitration and adjudication. This is what we are doing here today. All right, let's look at it. So learning objectives. By the end of this unit, learners should be able to understand formal dispute resolution mechanism, distinguish between arbitration and adjudication. Distinguish between what? Arbitration and adjudication. Our learners should be able to analyze the strengths and limitations of courts. Yes, courts do have limitations, all right? They have limitations. So I have somebody who is joining us on TikTok. And John, thank you for joining us on TikTok. We appreciate you for connecting. All right, appreciate you. All right, you can paraphrase and comment in the comment section what you are learning, what you're understanding. All right, so you are going to analyze the strength and limitation of courts, tribunals, and arbitration systems, and then also apply comparative dispute resolution analysis to real-world conflict. Do you understand? So this is what we're going to cover here today. And for those of you that are going to join us, we hope that you are going to be part of the training for real, right? And you can participate effectively as well. and then you can share the link to others to be part of it. This you should do way to share the link, put it on your wall, let them participate. So what is arbitration and adjudication? Part of introduction. Arbitration and adjudication are formal dispute resolution mechanism used when informal or alternative methods such as negotiation or mediation fail or are unsuitable. Do you understand? They are rule-based, they are structured, and produce binding decisions that are enforceable by law or institutional authority. Do you understand? That's what these things are. These mechanisms are common in commercial, labor, international, and public disputes. Do you understand? So this is what it is. So can you hear me? I hope you can hear me clearly. All right. So arbitration and adjudication are formal way of resolving disputes. All right. They are formal way of what? Resolving disputes. Arbitration, arbitration is part of alternative dispute resolution, but is more or less like a formal way of resolving conflicts. Whereas what do you call it? Adjudication has to do with a legal means of, which has to do with courts. Do you understand? Which has to do with court tribunals, in the terms of taking cases to court to resolve. Do you understand? So this is what it is. So arbitration and adjudication are formal dispute mechanism used when informal or alternative methods such as negotiation or mediations are not working. Do you understand? So when this alternative dispute resolution method did not work, we use formal ways to what to resolve dispute. Do you understand? So that's what it is. So now they are rule-based, structured, and produce binding decisions that are enforceable by law or institutional what authority. Do you understand? This is what adjudication and means. Do you understand? But arbitration somehow is part of alternative dispute resolution, but it also has binding results. Do you understand? It gives award. Do you understand? Where cases are adjudicated. So these mechanisms are common in commercial, in labor, in international, and public dispute. This is where you see adjudication and arbitration mostly being applied. Do you understand? This institution, these ways of resolving disputes are applied basically in commercial, that is trade, labor, do you understand, industrial actions, international and public disputes. You see people taking cases to court. Do you understand? And then of course, then people applying for adjudication in terms of contract disputes and all of that. Do you understand? They are there. Do you understand? So this is how it is. So let's move forward so that we have more understanding of what arbitration and adjudication is all about. So let's look at the concept of arbitration. All right, how does it, what does it, what is it all about, and how does it apply when you want to use arbitration to settle dispute? What does it entail? Arbitration is a private formal dispute resolution process in which disputing parties agree to submit their conflict to one or more neutral arbitrators whose decision, code, and award is binding. Do you understand? So whatever decision that is taking place or is being taken in arbitration is binding. Do you understand? It's binding. It's binding. It can be binding on all the participants. Do you understand? It can be binding on all the participants. That's why it is. Do you understand? So if the arbitrator investigates and find out that, okay, this person is actually guilty or whatever it is, they will now give an award, and that award will be what is what is binding. And if for any reason the person take the case to court, the court will still recognize the action that have been taking place in the arbitration process. Do you understand? So arbitration actually has a binding authority that applies to the parties that engage, deploy it. Do you understand? So if for any reason you have a contract dispute and you decide to approach an arbitrator, and after examining and cross-examining the process, and then an arbitrator discover that, okay, a particular party is at fault, what they do, they give an award. That award is what we call, in the court, it can be, something like an order, right? So it give an award, it pronounce a judgment, and it give an award. So you can pay a fine, you can pay, or you are ordered to fulfill those contract terms. Do you understand? And then you have to fulfill it. And then as a result of that, it will be binding. So because it's going to be pronounced, it's going to be written. Do you understand? So let's look at some key features of arbitration. Arbitration is a voluntary agreement by parties. Do you understand? It takes place, it follows the pattern of it follows the patterns of what? It follows the patterns of mediation and negotiation. But the only difference here is that it is binding. Do you understand? It's binding on the parties that are involved, that are using it. So arbitration clause or submission agreement. Do you understand? Then another one is neutral third party, arbitrator or panel. So the people here are neutral third parties. The people arbitrating are neutral third parties. They are not taking side. They are not going to be, taking side with anybody. They are just neutral, making sure that the case is being examined based on merit, and award is given based on merit of the case. Do you understand? And then it's also highly confidential. It is not open like arbitration is not open like adjudication, like the court. Do you understand? Arbitration is not open like the court. Do you understand? Arbitration is highly what? Is highly, private. It's not in the public like the court. Do you understand? Arbitration is highly private. It's confidential. Do you understand? It's confidential. Arbitration is confidential. Do you understand? So that's why it is. So let's look at it again. Arbitration, another feature of arbitration is that it's binding and enforceable. It is binding and what? Enforceable. Whatever award being given in arbitration process, it is binding. Do you understand? The parties are bound to it. Do you understand? And it is enforceable. If you take the matter to the court will recognize the proceeding in the arbitration, and the court may likely enforce what the arbitration has decided. Do you understand? So that's why it is. So it's also faster and less formal than courts. Do you understand? It's a formal way, but it's less formal. Just like take the pattern of mediation and negotiation. Do you understand? But it's quite formal, but less formal in the sense that the court, you have to file the case, and then other schedules are being made, and the court can just decide to fix any date, and then you come. But in arbitration, it's quite formal. You have to report officially, but the arbitrator will have to seek the consent of the parties involved on a particular day for them to meet. This is the difference. The court may start to fix and you have no argument. Do you understand? You have to appear in court. But the arbitration gives you an opportunity to decide when it's convenient for you to be part of the process. Do you understand? That's how it is. So it's less formal than the court. Do you understand? But it takes a formal process for a case to be resolved. Do you understand? So these are some of the features of arbitration. We say it's a voluntary agreement. We say it has a neutral third party. It is confidential. It is binding, and it's enforceable. Do you understand? The award there are enforceable. It's faster and less formal than the courts. Do you understand? So that's why it is. So let's look at types of arbitration. Types of what? Arbitration. Let's look at types of arbitration. We have what we call domestic arbitration. Domestic what? Arbitration. Dispute within a country, that is, dispute that happen within Nigeria, for instance, can be considered as domestic what? Dispute, and it can be arbitrated upon within Nigeria here. Do you understand? That is why it is. And then we have what we call international arbitration. Dispute involving parties from different countries. It's possible that you carry a trade transaction, maybe let's say from Nigeria, you are in Nigeria, and then you did a business with a Chinese person. Do you understand? And then the business did not go away. What do? You can decide to approach the International Court of Arbitration or the international arbitration for the process to be resolved. Do you understand? You can decide to go to WTS and WTO, that is World Trade Organization, for such cases to be resolved. Do you understand? So that's what you can decide to activate any of the arbitration process from the WTO, and it can help the process of resolving the dispute. Then we have institutional arbitration that's administered by bodies such as ICC, LCAI, ICSID. Do you understand? Can arbitrate. Institutional arbitration. Do you understand? They can arbitrate. And then we have ad hoc arbitration organized by the parties themselves. All right, the parties themselves can also decide to sit and arbitrate. Do you understand? And then the case, whatever they arrive at, will be binding. Or the parties themselves may decide to choose someone to listen to their case and then make pronouncement. Someone that is not biased. You understand? Someone that is not biased. So that's why it is. So let's look at examples of arbitration. Business partners resolving contract dispute through arbitration. All right. You see Omahi and that woman case. It can be arbitrated. It's a contract dispute. Do you understand? It can be arbitrated. It's not a matter of necessarily taking to court, but it's because we don't have value for arbitration here. That's why it seems as if, but there are some cases that I take to court. The court will refer you to arbitration units to resolve it, not necessarily taking to court. Do you understand? And there are sometimes lawyers are mandated to look into a case and weigh the possibility of taking it to court. Otherwise, go and arbitrate and resolve the matter. Do you understand? And then investment dispute between a foreign investor and a host state under ICSID can also be resolved. Then labor dispute resolved through industrial arbitration panel. All right, we have industrial court, right? So we can have industrial arbitration panel where cases that has to do with labor or employment issues can be resolved. I get a point now. So that's why it is. All right. So let's move forward. Let's move forward. Now that is arbitration. Let's look at adjudication. Adjudication. What is adjudication and how does it apply in conflict resolution? All right. Adjudication refers to the formal resolution of disputes by courts or tribunals. All right, where a judge or a panel applies the law to reach a binding judgment. Adjudication refers to the formal resolution of disputes by courts or tribunals where a judge or panel applies the law to reach a binding judgment. Now we have the laws that govern the country, right? So you have a case, you take it to court or to the tribunal. Most especially electoral matters are taken to the tribunal, and if the tribunal cannot resolve it, you take to the court, and then whatever the court, sometimes it take up to the Supreme Court, and once the Supreme Court make pronouncement, it comes to pass. Do you understand? So that's what it is. Do you understand? So that's what it is. So adjudication is what is the formal way of resolving disputes, unlike arbitration. Do you understand? It's a formal way of resolving what disputes. So what are the key features of adjudication? Let's look at the key features of what adjudication. We have it conducted by legally constituted courts or tribunals. You understand? Key features of what adjudication conducted by what legally constituted courts or what or tribunals. Because we have courts now, we have the High Court, we have the Appeal Court, we have the Supreme Court. These are constituted courts. Do you understand? And then they can pronounce judgment. Do you understand? They can pronounce judgment. We have governed. Key features of adjudication again is that it's governed strictly by procedural and substantive law. We have substantive law that have been written. We have the Nigerian Constitution as one of the grand law. Do you understand? Of the country. Do you understand? The Constitution is there as one of the grand law that is being used. Do you understand? And then we have other court proceedings that becomes law. We call them the precedents of the court. Do you understand? And they can be applied. Public hearings in most cases. All right. We see when the National Assembly is amending the Constitution, they invite people for public hearing. Do you understand? So you participate in public hearing, and whatever opinion you say there, whatever contribution you say there, it will add value to whatever law that they are working on. And once that law is signed and it is passed into law, it becomes a law. Do you understand? And then it can be applied. So binding and enforceable judgment. Once the court make a pronouncement, all right, whether against you or for you, then if it's for you, you are discharged and acquitted. If it's against you, penalties are involved, and those penalties will be activated and it will be enforced on you. If you are to pay a fine, you pay. If you are to spend years in prison, you pay and spend years in prison. So that is what it means. So possibility of appeal, yeah. If a lower court give judgment, you may decide to take it to the next higher court to appeal. Do you understand? That's why it is. That's adjudication. But if you don't want to appeal, you serve your term or you pay your fine and move. But if you want to appeal and there is chances for you to appeal, you appeal. Do you understand? And then you move forward. But there are cases that stop at the tribunal. There are cases that stop at the High Court. There are some cases that stop at the Appeal Court. Do you understand? And then there are some cases that go all the way to the Supreme Court. So you determine the strength of the case, and then the opportunities for you to appeal, and then you can appeal appropriately and where necessary. Do you understand? So let's look at forms of adjudication. What are the forms of adjudication? We have national court, that is civil, criminal, and constitutional. Do you understand? We have national courts, and then we have specialized tribunals, that's labor, tax, electoral, human rights. So if you invade tax, the court, there's a court for it. They will write you a notification and invite you. Why are you invading tax? Then it's a criminal offense. Do you understand? So we have international court like International Court of Justice, International Criminal Courts. Do you understand? They are all there. All right, and they can. I think Nigeria versus Cameroon, when Bakassi was handed over to Cameroon, The case was done at the International Court of Justice. Do you understand? And then Obasanjo handed over Bakassi Peninsula to Cameroon because of the pronouncement of the case at the International Court of Justice. Do you understand? And then we have ECOWAS court. If Nigerian government, the cases in Nigerian government do not work with, you can take it to ECOWAS because Nigeria is a member state. Nigeria is a member of International Court of Justice. Nigeria is a member of ECOWAS. So if you suffer injustice in Nigeria and you have the means, you can take your case to ECOWAS. You can take your case to International Court of Justice, and then you can get judgment. All right. There are some communities that took cases like that, and they were given and the Nigerian government was fine. For instance, the people of Zaki Biam in Benue State, they took a matter like that, and the Nigerian government, that is in the military, were fine, and of course, they were to pay some billions in form of compensation. Do you understand? So that's why it is. So let's look at examples. Criminal cases tried in national courts, election dispute handled by what? Electoral tribunals, and human rights cases at the ECOWAS court are just some of the examples. Do you understand? So if your right is being abused and the Nigerian government seems not to understand, then you can take your matter to ECOWAS, and then you can receive help. You can receive help from the ECOWAS court. Let's look at another key concept, which is the courts. So we're looking at the courts now. Courts are permanent judicial institutions established by the state to interpret and apply the law. So judicially, the legislature make the law, the courts or the judiciary interprets the law and applies it and enforce it. You understand? And then the executive implements the judgment. So it means that if there's a case, a law written in the Nigerian Constitution or in the precedence of the court, and now there's a case now, and the court will give an interpretation of what the Constitution says in a particular matter, and then make a pronouncement. And then now the executives, it's now left for the executive to implement it. You understand? So that's why if there's a court case now and it's being handed over, they say police or this person will serve prison terms. Do you understand? It's left for the correctional office to take charge of the case and then grab the person and put him into prison. Correctional cases or correctional centers are part of the executive arm of government. They are ones to provide and they are ones to maintain order. Do you understand? So that's it. So and then they will create the order and the case will be. Let's look at the characteristics of the court. Hierarchical structure. Yeah, we have the trial court, we have appellate court, we have the Supreme Court. The trial court are the high courts and the other lower court, magistrate court, and then we have the appellate court, which is appeal court. Do you know that they appeal? And then we have the Supreme Court. So it's hierarchical in nature. They have hierarchy. So, and then we have judges appointed or elected by state authority. So government appointing chief judges and all of that, which is also wrong. I expect that some of this Judicial Service Commission should appoint judges, appoint lawyers, so that there will be no interference. Do you understand? Or do you talk about the principles of separation of power, but you allow the executive to interfere in the activities of the judiciary? And then at the end of the day, they give us something that is not good. Do you understand? Judgment is not fair. Justice is not being considered. You understand? Merit of case is not being considered. Sometimes they deal with cases based on technicalities just to favor whoever they want to favor. So I feel that judges are not being appointed. Head of institution like Independent Electoral Commission, Independent National Electoral Commission, head of institution like the judiciary should be appointed by those institutions by themselves. All right. We have Judicial Service Commission should appoint chief judges, not the president. Do you understand? They can appoint them, and then send them to the Senate for confirmation. Do you understand? So that's why it is. At least a case of check and balances have been applied. Do you understand? Sending to the Senate for confirmation is what we're talking about here. Yes, I know to some extent they will influence it, but let it be that it's not the president, and the president is not doing anybody any favor. Any day the president change. Do you understand? So that's why it is. So decisions create legal what precedents. Decisions create legal precedent, because if a decision is taken today and there's a similar case tomorrow, today's case will be used as a reference point, all right? And the judgment will pass based on what was obtainable in the previous precedents. Do you understand? So precedents of court becomes law. Do you understand? And they can be used as a reference point to pass judgment. Do you understand? That's why it is. So decision creates legal precedents. Do you understand? That's another characteristic. So let's look at example. We have Supreme Court adjudicating constitutional dispute. Supreme Court adjudicating what? Constitutional dispute. All right. Maybe after the 2027 election, now people, okay, let's look at the 2023 election. After the 2020 election, the opposition parties went to court to determine what they meant by electoral transmission of results. And the court gave its own interpretation, and then they move forward. And then we started agitating, say, let there be amendment of the electoral law. Let the law, we repeal the law. They will still went ahead, and yet see, they say, okay, mandatory transfer or transmission of result. But in case if the network fail, manual, a lacuna is being created again. A loophole is still created in the system. So that if on that day, MTN and all the telecom industry may decide to off their network, and there will be no network anywhere, and then all results will be manually done, and whatever you see, you take it. Do you understand? So, but assuming INEC was mandated by law to do a compulsory electronic transmission of results, then whatever it is, whether good or bad, you must do it. Do you understand? You must do it. You can find network from anywhere, and then maybe the MTN and all other telecom industries in Nigeria will be put on their toes to make sure that there will be network on that day. Do you understand? Or the institution itself, the INEC, they say will go and look for Starlink. By the way, they have the budget over 800 billion naira. It's enough to buy whatever Starlink you want to buy to do election. Do you understand? You can use machines that are being configured with Starlink network, so you can take it to anywhere and use it. Do you understand? And even in remote areas, you can use it. But because they want to do criminal and crooked way of getting into power, they still create that lacuna. The president signed at once. It did not even last for 24 hours. He signed the bill into law. So that's why it is. So let's move forward. Let's look at tribunals. We'll talk about the court. Let's look at the tribunals. Tribunals are specialized adjudicatory bodies designed to handle specific categories of dispute. And what are those categories of dispute? Basically electoral issues. Do you understand? And then also we have labor issues. Do you understand? So characteristics: less formal than courts. It's less formal than courts. Faster procedures. Yeah. It doesn't waste time. So technical expertise in specific fields is being applied. So example, we have industrial arbitration panel, tax appeal tribunals, and then we have election petition tribunals. All of them helped in adjudicating electoral matter. There are some electoral matters that go to tribunals, and then the tribunal has limited time to entertain those cases. And after that period, except to approach the higher court, otherwise the matter will be dismissed, discharged, and then So we have binding decisions. Binding decisions, both arbitration awards and court judgment are legally binding, right? Both arbitration awards and court judgment are legally binding. So once the arbitrator make a pronouncement, is binding. Once a court make a pronouncement, it's binding. Do you understand? So meaning parties are obligated to comply. So once the judgment, so except you have questions concerning the matter, you can take it to a higher court. And like I say, if it's arbitration, the court is likely going to recognize the judgment of the arbitrator and recognize and even enforce it. Do you understand? So that is it. So that is it. So then we have what we call enforcement mechanism. Enforcement what mechanism? Enforcement mechanism. So enforcement mechanism, arbitration awards enforced through national courts. Do you understand? Once arbitration give its award, you can take it to court for enforcement. Do you understand? That's why I say the courts can recognize the award and enforce it. Do you understand? Court judgment enforced by state authority, that is police, and then the bailiffs. Do you understand? So can enforce it. So that's it. So are we following? So we talk about dispute resolution spectrum. So we have the informal and the formal way of resolving dispute. We say that the informal way of resolving dispute is what? Negotiation and mediation. And then we have the formal way of resolving dispute, which is arbitration and adjudication. But we say that arbitration can take the pattern of what? Of an informal, because it's less formal. It's less formal actually. It's less formal, right? It's less formal. And then we talk about arbitration process. We say dispute to agreements, to arbitrate, and then arbitrator hearing, award, and enforcement. Adjudication processes also have the dispute, court filing, trial or hearing. Do you understand? Judgment, because they have to give you a fair hearing. All right, they have to give you fair hearing so that you can see how it's gonna be. Then appeal enforcement. Appeal enforcement. All right, appeal enforcement. Appeal what? Enforcement. So that's what it is. You can there is the judgment, and you can appeal or it can be enforced. Do you understand? Once the judgment is given, you have the opportunity to appeal if there is opportunity to appeal, or it can be enforced. Do you understand? So that's what it is. So we have some practical focus, comparative dispute. All right, comparative dispute. Comparative what? Dispute. We have criteria here. We have nature, and then we have criteria. So when you're talking about arbitration, we have criteria. We have arbitration, adjudication. So we are saying that the nature of these two is that arbitration is what? Is private, while adjudication is more or less like public. Is public. Do you understand? So sometimes even cases in court are being televised. Do you understand? They are being televised so that you can even watch anywhere. But arbitration is confidential, so sometimes it's private. Most of the time it's private. Decision maker. Who is a decision maker when it comes to arbitration? We have what we call an arbitrator, right? Arbitrator is the decision maker when it comes to arbitration. And then when it comes to adjudication, who is the decision maker here is the judge. All right, the judge takes decisions. And then when it comes to arbitration, in terms of flexibility, all right, we say that arbitration is highly flexible, but adjudication is quite low. Do you understand? It's rigid in nature. The process is completely formal and it's not flexible like that. So when it comes to arbitration, adjudication, do you understand? And then when it comes to cost, all right, arbitration is moderate. Arbitration is not expensive, but adjudication is highly expensive. It's highly expensive. When you want to take your case to court, you have to pay judges to appear, court fee, charges, appearance fee, and all of that. Do you understand? So it's highly expensive. And then we talk about confidentiality, that is arbitration. and then we talk about adjudication. Arbitration, yes, it's confidential, but when it comes to adjudication, it is not confidential. So the case is being televised, it's public. The media houses are already there, covering the trial process. So it's not before the judgment is being passed, we are aware of what is happening. Do you understand? So appeal, then we say that arbitration is limited. You cannot necessarily appeal arbitration. Once the arbitrator gives the order, it's enforcement direct. But adjudication allows appeal to take place. Do you understand? Arbitration allows what? Adjudication allows what? Appeal. So you can appeal whatever that comes out there. All right. So that is how it is. Are we making sense at all? Are you following? I hope you are following. You are following and you are being part of this training. Do you understand? All right. For those of you that are joining us on TikTok today, what we are doing here is professional diploma training in peace and All right. So the people on Facebook, YouTube, and do you have any question? You have any question you ask? Otherwise, we have come to the end of today's training. All right. We are done with our training on peace and conflict management. All right. Except we want to register for the professional postgraduate diploma. That is an advanced one. So if I register for that one, you will take more modules to complete it. Do you understand? And then, like I say, I discovered that you were not hearing me, but the examination is coming up next week, Saturday. And the examination is going to be by 8 p.m. The link will be posted in our WhatsApp group so that you can access it and take your examination. And then we're also going to put the manual together. We'll send it to you. So you have just less than 7 days to prepare for your exams. So you can still revisit our videos that we have recorded. They are on Facebook, they are on YouTube. You can listen to them. All right. Even if you have the manual, you can still listen to them and then get more understanding and then prepare for your examination. The pass mark for the examination is going to be 50%. So if you have 50%, you are qualified to get the serial number to download your certificate. Do you understand? So, but if you do not get the 50%, you will not get the serial number to download your certificate. Do you understand? So that is it. So do way to prepare well. Go to YouTube, go to Facebook, revisit those videos, watch them, and then be a part of it. Do you understand? So we appreciate all of you for taking time to be part of today's training. Do you understand? We appreciate you for taking time to be part of today's training. All right. Any other question? Any other question? Any other question? If you have any question, let me know. Pastor Endurance Gogo, thank you very much. I appreciate you. And thank you for the few weeks we have been together on this journey. It has been awesome. And I appreciate all of you for your participation, for your wonderful contribution, for always being there, for always being part of the meeting. All right. And I hope that by next month we are going to do it again. We are going to do it again. We are going to, we are going to do emotional intelligence. I hope you will be part of it as well. Emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is what we're going to do next month. For those of you that want to be members of the Institute, the room is still open, most especially those that are interested to be licensed. All right. Those of you that are interested to be licensed. And like I said before, those of you that will take this examination, if you are not yet a member of the Institute, you are going to also get another certificate called the nominal membership certificate, an affiliate kind of membership certificate. You are a nominal member of the Institute going forward. All right. You can participate in the activities of the Institute. You can contribute in one way or the other. It's just that you cannot hold position because you are just a nominal member. All right. So you cannot hold position. You cannot You cannot practice professionally because you're not a licensed member. Do you understand? So these are the things. So, but if you want to become a member that we actively participate in all the activities, elections, head the chapter, head the committee, and then also conduct independent practice using a license, then you can be a licensed member as well. But if you're not a licensed member, you cannot do all of that. Do you understand? So I want to appreciate all of you for taking time to connect. Um, Agundu and Ahmad, thank you very much. We appreciate all of you. It has been a wonderful journey. We will send you the manual. We'll also send you on Saturday, the examination link will be posted in our WhatsApp group. Examination is going to be by 8 p.m. 8 p.m. And then it's going to be awesome. Awesome. And for those of you that have taken time to do your assignment, we appreciate you. Some of you did not do it as we expected, but we appreciate your effort. Do you understand? And those of you that still intended to do, you can still do it. There's no problem. If I still intending to do it, you can go ahead and do it. No challenge. But wish all the best. Do you understand? Wish you the very, very, very best. And see you next time. All right? See you next time. Ambassador Bandele, thank you.